Hey, I'm in the heart of Montevilla and PDX looking at this juicy deal that I just found on Zillow. I don't usually come to PDX, but this one might just be too good to pass up. So listed under $300,000 at 270. It is over 130 years old, and we're going to be taking a look at it today to determine whether or not it's a great deal, because this should comp at about conservatively 400. There's a couple things I'm concerned about. Namely, that the square footage, the actual usable square footage, is like under 800 square feet. And so we're going to have a look to see whether this is something that I'd be interested in putting an offer in. It is going to be my email deal of the week. So if you're interested in getting on my email list, click the link below to get on that list, or comment deal in the comments, or send me an email at doug@dougvarinas.com, and I will put you on my list so you can see properties just like this. So this property should rent when renovated for about $2,000 a month conservatively. And so we're going to have a look starting at the exterior here. Okay, we're going to take a look at the exterior first, and I can tell you just off the bat that the siding is that vinyl siding. It's definitely been replaced, probably in the 40s, maybe the 50s, but it looks like it's in great condition. The windows also look like they've been replaced at some point. At least the outer ones have. So I'm pretty impressed overall with the condition. The soffits, if you look up here, all look like they are in great shape. I'm looking down at the foundation here, and so far, let's take a look. But it looks pretty tidy. Now, this is on a smaller lot. It's a 4,000 square foot lot, so it's pretty tiny. So I'm just going to look around. It looks like it has been kind of painted, so I don't know if they're trying to cover things up. It's usually pretty hard to cover up those kind of cracks, but you can see one there, but that's really not concerning the house of this age. The porch also is in pretty good shape. I mean, this is an older slab here, and this looks in pretty good condition. So as you can see, everything looks like it's very clean and very, like, the gutters look newer to me. Let's go take a look. It's kind of hard to see maybe, but they look like they're in good shape. Some of them look like they've been replaced, and some of them look like they're kind of original, but they all look in decent shape. The roof also, to my eye, looks like it's going to be usable for the next couple of years. Like, it's not totally at end of life. Obviously, I'd want an inspector to come take a closer look. So as we continue around here, we can see that this is a little concerning, where the side steps here kind of looks like they're, if you look at them, they're kind of sideways. Again, like some of the siding is covering up how that's being pulled away from the home. So that's something you want to look at, but it's not a deal breaker at all to me. All these exterior, like the interior windows, look like they can be original, but there's like these screens on top of them that cover them, like a secondary pane, that look newer. So I do like that. One of the value add opportunities I thought when I looked at this would be to put in an ADU, and that still looks like a possibility even with the smaller lot. You probably have to take out this tree here, but then, I think you'd have plenty of room to build an ADU back here. You got this old junky shed, and I think doing some patio furniture, some landscaping back here would go a long way to making this a lot more appealing. You got this fence here that looks sort of newish, but it's kind of leaning over. Something to think about. I'm going to push it. Yeah, it'll stay up for now, so I'm not worried about that. Again, let's look over here. I don't know if this is access. This looks like it's access to the, I don't know if it's hinged. There's like a door down there, so it does have a separate entry. It's hard to see. There you go. So that's really good in case you wanted to separate the basement unit from the top unit, and they have two separate units. Don't know what the shed is, but it's, I don't know. It's going to go, obviously. If you look over here, you can see this is kind of a moisture thing. Looks like, you get moisture here, and it's kind of peeling this paint that they put on here away. But overall, this doesn't look concerning to me. Obviously, I'd want to get an expert out here, but this looks like it's pretty sturdy. And again, the siding's in great shape. So overall, you got the cool awning up here. I'm always a sucker for these like old school awnings. Um, Overall, this looks like this place is in, at least the exterior is in really good condition. So I'm excited about that. Um, Portland real estate agents. There's a lot of great deals in Portland right now. I'm not the super biggest fan of Portland as an investor because of the tenant-friendly laws here, and the general like political ineptitude of Portland's politicians to kind of deal with problems has made the livability of Portland definitely worse than it was like 10 years ago. But if a deal is juicy like this, then it's always worth a look. So you can always overcome those challenges. So let's go take a look at the inside. Okay, I just opened the door to the home here, so we're gonna have a look inside. First off, I'm noticing the hardwood floors. That's great. Classic. They're not in the best condition, like you'd have to refurbish them, but I'm glad they're here and they look pretty decent. You got a nice foyer area here. Let me step back to show you. A little place to put your coat and kind of get out of the rain. It would be nice to open this room up actually, but I'm not sure structurally if you'd be able to take out any of these beams here. So as expected, it's pretty small. Obviously the floors are even, they're not level. You got this popcorn ceiling with this weird light, but you got a nice living room here. Excuse me. You got some good natural light coming in. Obviously need some paint. You'd scrape the ceiling, put another light fixture, no big deal. Yeah, this whole column here I'd like to just take out. I definitely would like to consult somebody about that possibly, but talk about that later. And then you come into this kind of other, I guess you call it the living, or I think they're calling it the dining area. The kitchen. Okay. Yeah. I mean, the cabinets are older, the floor needs to be replaced. I mean, the kitchen is pretty much a gut job, but you might be able to keep, kind of not a lot of counter space. So you have to redo this to make it fully operational, but it definitely works for now. Let's go see if the sink works. Yeah, great. And then you have your exit out here to the backyard. We'll go in the basement later. There's the basement. Ooh, spooky. Let's not worry about that yet. So we have the rest of the house to look at. And here, I believe, are the bedrooms. And I think these are just going to be tiny. And they are tiny. I think they're, I wanted the light on, but you gave me the fan. Oh, that's the thing. That's how these things roll. Okay. Well, super tiny bedroom with no closet. I think this is your closet, 1890 style. There's no closet here. So oh wait, there's something over here. This might be the closet. That might be something. Okay. This is the closet. Okay. Better. All right. I mean, it is what it is. It's an older house and I don't know what I would do with that. For now, I would keep it. You have a Jack and Jill bathroom going from each bedroom. The bathroom's pretty tiny. I wish it were not a Jack and Jill bathroom. I wish it was just one bathroom, but that is what it is. And it gets expensive to reconfigure those things. So yeah, none of the doorways or windows are square. It is an 1890s house. That's just how it is. Ooh, little spider friend. There we go. Hey, buddy. Okay, so yeah, kind of cramped. Awkward toilet right here. Just kind of weird. Another tiny, tiny bedroom. So this is going to take some imagination. I mean, it would be nice to just kind of knock some walls out. This needs some reconfiguring because these bedrooms are just tiny. And I think that's just the way it is. So you'd have to be okay with that. And as a rental, I think it's still doable. I'm not scared. Where's the closet in this bedroom? Okay, so it doesn't even have a knob or anything. So I can't get into it. Trying to get into it. Let me try my foot. Yeah, there we go. So same as on the other side. So, not a ton of closet space. Pretty typical for this age of home. Not a huge deal, but not great. Let's go have a look in the basement. But as far as it just needs paint, scrape the popcorn ceilings, mud them, paint them. Let's take a look at these windows. So yeah, these are definitely older windows. And then this one's broken. Okay. So it'd be nice to replace those, man. But just how old this home is, it's going to be hard to get windows that fit or fit them in there. All right, let's check out the basement. Okay, here we go. So I can tell you right now that if you do this basement, this beam up here is not to code. Like you have to have more clearance than this. So that's opens up a little bit of a can of worms there. So let's check the ceiling height because that's going to be another factor. You want to be 7 feet high. Ooh, it's close. Um, it's close. Got a musty smell down here. That's kind of how basements are, but I'm not see, you get this moisture in these older homes. You got to have somebody check this because this is like could be a foundation issue, but I've seen worse and so this actually doesn't look terrible. It seems dry, although it's hard to tell. There's some moisture signs over here. I know these, but overall, it looks dry, and they've replaced the piping and they've replaced the water heater, and there's a new electric furnace. So it's got a lot going for it. It's just got a weird layout, and that can be a deal breaker. I like the neighborhood. Here's the electrical. This could be a nightmare. Let's check it out. Nope, not a nightmare. Actually, looks pretty good. I'm impressed with this. Okay. Is this a separate breaker? What is this? Okay. Well, it's going to have to remain a mystery because it's kind of screwed tight there. Okay. So you could frame this in, egress one of these windows, and try and find the plumbing stack for the bathroom. Because if you you can put another bathroom down here. If it's underneath the toilet upstairs, it makes it easier. I don't know where that's coming down. It might be through one of these window, or might be in here. It's hard to see in here. I should have brought my flashlight. Trying to orient myself. There's a separate entrance. That's that door we saw from the outside. So that's good. Like I said, you can separate the units possibly. Not sure why this is here. It's like a tiny, tiny shelves. Okay. So overall, I'm a little concerned about the height in the basement. I am I don't know why I'm tapping here, what that shows you, but I'm putting my head up here and I feel like there's like 6 inches. So I feel like the basement is not going to be able to be renovated to live in. I'm concerned about that. So, okay, I'll give you my final impressions. So, what are my overall thoughts of this place? I was really excited when I saw it because the price was incredible. There was a lot of potential, and I like the neighborhood. Like, it's a little grimier than I thought, actually, but it's still pretty quiet and surrounded by a lot of amenities that people are going to want. It's in a pretty decent area. But having a look inside, I'm really impressed with the exterior condition of it. You can tell somebody cared about it, and they put some money into at least the mechanicals. But at the end of the day, that basement is sort of a no-go. Like you can lose a lot of money by trying to put a round peg into a square hole because that clearance in that basement was very suspect. Like that was close to being not usable space as far as like the clearance requirements. And so I wonder about that. And also in any kind of house, like you have a certain amount of ability to change the floor plan and stuff. Sometimes you just can't fix weird or small. And I feel like this place, like the layout and the size of the bedrooms and the bathroom, at the end of the day is just kind of weird. And weird to me is just kind of a no-go. And you have to be disciplined as an investor to just be like, I'm not sure this is for me. It's going to be for somebody and it's going to sell. But as far as I'm concerned, like I was excited to put an offer on it, but I do not think I'm going to proceed with an offer just because of the reasons I mentioned before. Like if you cannot convert that space into something usable, that's a big negative. The size of the bedrooms and the bathroom and the way it was configured, you're just not going to be able to fix that unless you're going to put a lot of money into it. And then the ADU possibility is probably one bright spot, but then again, you just got to have the capital to put that money into that ADU. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you like what you've seen, please consider liking and subscribing. It really helps me out to put this content out. I love doing it. And if you are interested in buying or selling in Vancouver, Washington, or Portland, Oregon, Feel free to schedule a free no pressure chat with me. I would love to talk to you about investments like this. I'm looking at them all the time. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.